Vedic life, how the Aryan came to India, and what the different scholars described, and from which part they have come from, and how they settled down in India. Continued with that, I also told you there were the time concession or dates 1500 to 600 BC. The Aryans lived in our country, and it was divided into two parts. One is early Vedic period and later Vedic period. So early Vedic period from 1500 to 1000, which we have already learned in the previous class, and now we are learning the later Vedic period from 1000 to 600 BC. Early Vedic period, if we compare with the early and the later Vedic period, we have a vast difference in the life condition, our social life may be, political life may be, economic life condition completely brought a vast change in the society itself. I already mentioned early Vedic period, the political life of the early Vedic period, the Aryans are the tribal people have chosen the head of the tribal man to be the Rajan or a king of the tribe. Once the Rajan is appointed for that particular tribe, he has to completely work for his tribe, and he has to spend his life for the sake of the tribe, fight against the enemies for the sake of the tribe, and he has to pray and offer sacrifices for the sake of only for the tribe. And they had a village atmosphere. The village headman was chosen once again, and the family life become head of the family was a man. The head of the family is the man who is also considered to be a Grahapati, and the women were also given importance, and they were allowed to go out and take part in the assembly and so on. So they were not restricted, freedom was given to them, though the man was taking care of the family. And the social life, if we come to the social life, we will find here the people divided the house, that means the group, the caste system was not at all existed in the early Vedic period, only it has come into existence in the later Vedic period onwards. Actually, the early Vedic men divided four groups, that is Brahmins, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas and the Sudras. It's only because of the work division. They didn't have any intention of having the caste system, but they divided. It's only because of the work to assign and to take up the work. And the three upper class was served by the Sudras, who were helping cleaning and other works they are taken care. And coming to the position of the women over here, I already mentioned in the introduction part, the ladies were allowed to go to the assembly, attend the assembly, they can discuss and they can share their views. And we also find Gosha, like other women, who written the hymns, and that is what they given importance for them. That was an example. Coming to the food and the clothes, so they also cultivated wheat, barley, and they had drinks like soma and sura, occasionally to drink as well as daily drink. And given importance for the clothes, that is cotton as well as wool, and also given importance for the gold and silver ornaments used by both men and women. And coming to the religious state of life, I already said they are given importance for only for the nature. Thundering, lightning, fire, when it occurs, they thought that God is punishing them and they started worshipping. Whereas in the later Vedic period, that lost is complete, is important. They worshipped Shiva, Vishnu as the incarnation of Krishna or Vishnu. So let me come to the later Vedic period. The four Vedas which which I already told you in the introduction part. So first Veda is meant only for the early Vedic period. Remaining 3 Vedas are related to the later Vedic period. And the epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, shows the political, social and economic life condition of the people of later Vedic period. So the people started to live their life, and I told you what difference we can find. Whatever the early Vedic period were introduced, and that was brought a lot of change in the later Vedic period. Coming to the literary sources, it says that Aryan shifted towards Gangetic Valley. The early Vedic period, we find the Sapta Sindhu are 5 rivers where it is joined together, and they felt that they are the land is fertile, and they called the god of land, and they tried to feel that it is gifted from God. But whereas here we find the people Aryan shifted towards the Gangetic Valley, and later we also find the different groups coming into the central power like Kosala, Kashi and Vedaha emerged as the important powers in the later Vedic period. Coming to the political organization, I already said. In the early Vedic period, we find the king. Once his kingship is completed, they can choose anyone to take up the next position. Whereas in the later Vedic period, it was completely change was brought. So it is a territorial monarchy. Monarchy means the kingdom ruled by a king. So this become rigid as well as it become a hereditary. The king, after a king, his son should continue or his family members should continue one after the other. No chance for the other group of people. And he also taken the titles like Adiraja, Samrata and etc. for the winning over or taking the territories under his concern. And we will also find the sacrifices, Ashwamedha and Rajasya, to show that they are completely took the supreme power was in their hand. And I told you that in the early Vedic period, whatever the sacrifices that voluntarily given by the people of their own tribe to the king, it was brought completely changed in the later Vedic period. The animal sacrifice and the rituals all become elaborate, and the people were unable to resist on, and they were unable to pay the tax and so on, and it become very costly, so they find very difficult, especially the common people. And that whatever the sacrifices that I told you, that animal sacrifices, what they offered to the king voluntarily, so they made it as a collection of the tax. They appointed Bharata and the tax collector, and the different administrations had been made it to collect the tax, and to also the different works division were done in the later Vedic period. Coming to the social life, the fourfold division that is done by the early Vedic period, here in the later Vedic period it has become very, very rigid. Because the four groups, Brahmins, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas and the Sudras. Sudras considered to be untouchable. Whichever the group they were born, so it is said that they should not change from Brahmins to the Vaishyas, Kshatriyas to the Vaishyas, or to the Sudras. They cannot change at all. Whereas the early Vedic period, we find they can get married to any group of people because it was divided only because of work purpose. But here they made it very rigid, and they made that Sudras should be considered as untouchable. They were not allowed to enter into the place where these three groups were survived, and also they were not allowed to enter into the temples, and it became completely a burden to the Sudras, and they were suppressed by the upper three classes. And we also come across with the four ashramas. These four ashramas, that is Gurukul system in another way. The Gurukul system, where the Brahmins were only allowed to go to the Guru's house where it is outskirt, and completely the Guru will be staying away from where the people are surviving. They send their children to the Guru's house, so they start educating from the age of whatever 5 or until the age of 20 to 25, they will remain in Guru's house to get education. So whatever it was imparted, the knowledge, it was imparted orally, and they learnt. So until the completion of their education, the children become the part and parcel of the family of Guru itself. And after completion of that brahmacharya, we call it at the age of starting from the education, from maybe from 5 years to until they complete their education, maybe 20 to 25. So they called as brahmacharyas. Once they complete their education, they will come back to their house and they can choose other three parts of life. That is grihastha, getting married and live with the family. And the next one, it is vanaprastha. Even the person can choose if he doesn't want to get married and settle down with the family, so he can choose vanaprastha, where he will go to the forest and completely involved with God and himself by meditating. No any other worldly concern or worldly pleasures they will give importance. So they renounce everything for the sake of God and sit in the meditation experience God. Coming to the last one is, that is sannyasa. Here this also the same kind, where the vanaprastha, they will go for the meditation but not completely. They will give up all the worldly things, but they will spend sometimes in meditation. They go house to house asking diksha, whatever they get it, and with that they lead their life. So that is what the four ashramas considered to be. And after the completion of, once again the Gurukul system, when I talk about, they were not paid a single pai to Guru. If they want, after the completion of their education, voluntarily they can pay to the Guru. And besides that, they were also learnt during the time of Gurukul system. I already said they were taught orally, and they were also asked to go out of their campus begging and getting the things, and they will have to collect the firewood, all the household work of the Guru's house they have to do, because it is a kind of humiliation, how to have patience, how to humiliate oneself to learn this as taught in the Gurukul system itself. And coming to the rise of new art and craft. In what way the economic condition of the people has improved. So they introduced the cyan, or the black metal, and that helped to introduce many iron tools to improve the life condition of the peasants or the farmers, to plow and use what are the instruments it's needed for the ploughing and other tools for the cultivation. It was made better by introducing the cyan or the black metal or iron. So with that, the people started to find easy to cultivate, and it was in abundant and produce to gain much income from it. And the same way we also find art, once again the art and craft work here. Because of the introduction of the iron, we will find blacksmith coming into existence, and the carpentry, and the different new things in the working place or occupation came into existence try to improve the condition of the people of others in the Aryan's life itself. And coming to the trade, exchange of goods. In the early it is like a barter system where they exchange goods to goods. Whereas here when they introduced the nishka or the coin, they used for exchanging the goods from one place to other place, and they exchanged the coins. And last we come to mukti or karma. So I said the Ramayana and Mahabharata also help. It shows the political, social and economic condition of the life of the people. With that we will find how to reach God. What is mukti? What is karma? How mukti is the salvation. To reach God, what is a hindrance for the life of the people? So it has given already in the social life and the political life how one can help each other and to walk in the path of God. So the early life of the Aryans helped the people. Karma means whatever the sins that are committed, the fate of the people. So because of that, people believe that we have got a new birth, or we once die, once again we will come back to the life. So we have to face whatever we have committed sin in the previous life, and that is what the karma, whatever the struggles and the pains that they are facing, that is because of karma. And to make the whatever the sins that we are committed, in order to come out of it. So one way is that is mukti or the salvation. For that it is helped how to overcome, how to reach God. So with this I complete my lessons, that is emergence of Vedic India, and I also give you a few questions in the next class so that you can write it and send the answers not in the group but my personal number, so that I can help you where you made mistakes. Thank you.